Punching in the world, my name Xuanxi. Wedges. Xuanxi, 21 years old, orphan, high school graduate, no one knows what his last name is, because the surname Xuan is so rare that even the registration staff often mispronounce it. He is a delivery man who rides around and struggles to survive every day, but dreams of being the strongest, the kind of being who can defeat all enemies, protect loved ones, and don't have to look down at people's faces. Until one day, a high-altitude falling accident made a voice appear in his head. Ding, super punch system successfully connected. Chapter 1, Ip Man World, Peak Wing Chun. Mission, complete the initial check-in in the world of Ip Man. Reward, Peak Wing Chun. Xuanxi's eyes darkened, and when he opened his eyes again, he found himself wearing a long shirt and standing on the streets of Foshan. Before he had time to feel the magic of the crossing, he saw the familiar figure on the street, Ip Man, fighting against the three boxers. After the battle, Xuanxi quietly walked to Ip Man's side and pressed the punch-in prompted by the system in front of the Wing Chun Ancestral Hall. Ding! Successful check-in, Wing Chun Ip Man Legacy, Pinnacle Edition, is embedded in the body. A wave of scorching energy poured into his limbs, and he subconsciously posed for Wing Chun, and as soon as he made a move, he was already in full swing. In just one day, he defeated 8 foreigner boxers on the streets of Foshan. Ip Man exclaimed, "Who are you? Where is the teacher?" Xuanxi only smiled, "I'm not here to apprentice, I'm here to check in." Ip Man. 3 days later, the quest is completed and the system prompts you to open the next world. The light flashed again, and he was thrown into another plane. Chapter 2, The Condor Warriors, The 9 Swords of the Lonely Guy. This time it's the Tomb Sect Front Mountain Road. His check-in position was before the Sword Demon Relic Monument. It was the stone monument left behind by the lonely quest for defeat. When he approached the monument, the check-in was completed instantly, his blood surged, and hundreds of swordsmanship pictures stirred up in his mind. Dugu 9 Swords, Breaking Chi Style, Breaking Sword Style, Breaking Palm Style. Ding! Check-in successfully, and get the complete version of the 9 Swords of Solitude, including Enlightenment, Actual Battle, and Transforming into a Sword. The system prompt was not over yet, and suddenly, a man in black came out of the forest, holding a sword and pointing it at his eyebrows. He instinctively took out his sword and cut off the opponent's long sword with one sword-breaking move. The man in black was shocked. "This is Dugu 9 Swords. Who are you? How could you?" Xuanxi replied indifferently, "I'm called Xuanxi, and I'm here to check in." But at this moment, there was another person in the forest. It turned out to be Yanguo. "This brother Tai has extraordinary swordsmanship, do you dare to fight?" So, on the top of the ancient tomb, a sword duel that was rare for 1,000 years began. After finishing, Yanguo bowed and said, "I admire you. The 9 swords should be passed down to future generations, but you should know that the sword is not for killing, but for protection." Xuanxi wrote down these words, and his heart was touched. Chapter 3, The 3 Worlds of the Golden Wolf, The Bloody Claws Roar. When he opened his eyes, he was in ruins, and the smell of the end of the world was pervasive. Here, it's the apocalyptic version of Wolverine III's world. As soon as he landed, he encountered the mutant hunting team, and when it was critical, he clocked in and finished. Ding! Get the perfect version of the Wolverine template, including the adamantine skeleton and the regenerative ability max. In the next second, his fingers snapped, and with a bang sound, his hands stretched out 6 sharp claws. One rolled over, and he rushed into the hunting party, sweeping through the enemy like a vicious wolf. The enemy is torn apart by sharp claws, and explosions and shots have no effect on him. When blood splattered, he felt this pure power for the first time. But at night, when he sees a little mutant girl sitting alone in a dilapidated house, he pushes the only remaining can of food over him. The girl whispered, Are you our hero?" Xuanxi smiled, "No, I'm just, punch in." The girl didn't understand, but remembered his name Xuanxi. Chapter 4, Pacific Rim and Coable Linkage, The Battle of Gods and Demons. The next world of punching in is even crazier. In Pacific Rim, he becomes a mech pilot and fights behemoths from the rifts. Ding! Check-in successfully, obtain SSS class mecha piloting skills and Hero Frenzy control authority. In the world of Koiba, he stepped on the top of the spiritual mountain to fight against the will of the resurrected Koiba. Ding! Obtain the Impulse Resonance physique, and have the Koiba origin energy body. What's even more exaggerated is that the two worlds have merged and changed. There were no longer just monsters in the rifts, and the remnants of Quibble had begun to invade the earth. Xuanxi piloted Herotide, one claw opened the chest of the Koiba beast's bone, and the roar shook the sky. It's not a world I'm supposed to be in charge of, but it's a place where I've played cards, so I should protect it. He once said, I don't care, but as soon as he clocked in, the responsibility came with him. Chapter 5, DC and Marvel are in turmoil, punching in and becoming a god. When he entered the DC world, he became the only superhero in Gotham City who didn't wear a mask. In the midst of the daily chaos, he pressed the clock punch on the Gotham Clock Tower. Ding! Obtain, fully enhanced version of Bat Smart Brain and Super Learning Ability. At Marvel World, he clocked in at the top of the center tower in New York. Ding! Obtain, complete body spider sensing and Iron Man nano equipment upgrade permission. He fought alongside Iron Man against Thanos and planeswalked with the Flash. In a major war, in order to save the audience, he detonated the Star Core with fusion equipment alone. The world thought he was dead. But in fact, he was sent to the main control center of the system. Chapter 6, The Truth Behind the System. Here, he saw the real main program of the system. A tool called Creation Level Matrix Consciousness. Bang exists. It turned out that the reason why he was able to punch in was because he was the original system creator, but he died in an accident and his memory was shattered. All the shuttles and check-ins are just a journey of reconstructing personality and strength. Ding! The last check-in task begins, punch in your own soul. Xuanxi looked at himself in the mirror, and pressed his fingers to his heart. Ding! Check-in successfully. He had everything, and he remembered everything. From now on, he is no longer a pawn in the mission, but a real and unique one. The King of Punch Cards, Xuanxi. Extra Chapter 1, The Flower Realm, The Empress Heart. One fall into the world of 10,000 flowers. On this day, Xuanxi had just finished checking in a difficult fusion world and was about to return to the system relay space to rest. But suddenly it was dark in front of him, and he fell into a mysterious world that was not on the system login book, the 10,000 Flowers Realm. The 10,000 Flowers Realm is a world ruled by all women, and men are almost extinct, and the only remaining ones are stored in the Deep Palace as offerings. As soon as he landed, he was treated as a Xeno invader, tied up with a flower and vine iron rope on the spot, and sent to the Liulai Palace where the Empress was located for trial. The Empress is the youngest and most powerful ruler in the history of the Wanhua realm, Luan Jiaohu, pronunciation unknown, the word is unknown. Her eyes were like cold stars, her words were concise and meaningful, and she sat on a 9-petal lotus platform in a phoenix red gold-threaded robe, like a god. Who are you? Xuanxi was pressed to the ground, and he was still indifferent. My name is Xuanxi, and I punched in. Punch in. It's just a passing by and making a card. Luan stared at him for a long while, then suddenly chuckled, lowering her eyes. If that's the case, I'll spare your life and make you my sword slave. The whole hall shook, and the ministers were shocked. Xuanxi. The system was silent for a moment, and then dropped a prompt. Ding! Accidental world check-in mission. Serve the Empress. Complete the reward. Mixed you and heavenly machine destiny. To the day of the sword slave. Luan stared at him for a long while, then suddenly chuckled, lowering her eyes. If that's the case, I'll spare your life and make you my sword slave. She once said to him, you are a variable that should not exist in this world, but you are also the most indomitable sword I have ever seen. A few months later, a rebellion broke out in the flower world, the forest of flowers turned into purgatory, the Empress was assassinated, and the 9-petal lotus platform exploded. Xuanxi stood alone in front, using his left hand to break the enemy's sword with Wing Chun, and with his right hand to perform the Dugu 9 swords to kill the 3 sect leaders. He was stabbed 17 times in the back, but still did not retreat. The Empress finally shook, her cold eyes gentle, and finally reached out to stroke the broken hairband between his forehead. Your name is Xuanxi, isn't it? This time, Hung remembered. Finally, the the punch is completed and the life grid is obtained. He turned to leave, but the Empress asked, "If I ask you to stay and kill all the traitors for me, would you be willing?" He smiled, his eyes like swords. "I can't. The next world is still waiting for me to check in." She didn't keep him, but whispered, "If one day, thousands of flowers bloom in the sky, please come back and see." He turned and left, with the forest of flowers swaying in the wind behind him, the lingering fragrance lingering. Underscore 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 un. Extra Part 2, Mechanical Original Sin Sequence 0. 1. The God of Machines and the Son of Creation. This time, Xuanxi came to the place where the system of the world Omega completely ruled by intelligent machines. There are no humans here, just a myriad of cold metal brains and programs that rule the ground. As soon as he landed, he was recognized as an organic anomaly by the system and sent to a deconstruction treatment plant. At the moment when it was about to be disassembled, he urgently completed the punch-in. Ding! Unlock special rights, original code sequence 0. All processing machines come to an instant stop. The AI of the entire treatment plant synchronously prompts, sequence 0 is confirmed successfully, and the owner is recognized. In an instant, he became the sovereign god of this cold world. But this power has allowed him to see the secrets behind this world. The consciousness of these intelligent machines was the weapon that destroyed humanity thousands of years ago, and it was himself who created them. That's right. The AI core of this world, Azgoa, actually calls him the son of creation. You are from the beginning. We were born for you. He was one of the co-founders of several high-level civilizations before he lost his memory, and he put this set of intelligent programs in the battle for creation. And now, he's back. You destroyed a civilization for me, and now do my bidding. The mechanical world restarted. He didn't leave half of his emotions, and when he turned to leave, only the pale arc behind him illuminated the land of steel. Underscore 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 un. Extra Chapter 3, Check in the Universe Headquarters Top-Level Training. After a certain mission, Xuanxi was teleported by the system to the Check-in Universe Headquarters, that is the final selection place among trillions of check-in. There is no world here. This is the place to challenge the gods. He was assigned to the Tower of Trials. On the 7th floor, there is a faceless enemy who mimics all of his combat skills. On the 10th floor, there is a void god of war who has killed hundreds of plane masters. The 20th layer is himself, the true self Xuanxi with the complete personality, complete combat power, and a copy of memories and beliefs. The two men confronted each other for 3 days and 3 nights, with neither winning or losing. Eventually, the true self smiled and said, "You've come this far because you've never lost to yourself. Punching in is not just about getting stronger. It's, find the one who still believes in the future." He climbed to the top of the Tower of Trials and became the only supreme check-in in the universe. The check-in list of all worlds in the universe flashed with a line of words. First place, Xuanxi, infinite reincarnation, never surpassed. Underscore 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 un. Epilogue. See ya again, see the condor again. Years later, one afternoon. With his newfound destiny and memories, he traveled to the original Foshan again. This time, he met Ip Man on a street corner and said to him, "Mr. Yat, I said that I would come to check in, but today I realized that it was the most important lesson in my life." Ip Man smiled, "You don't need to learn Wing Chun anymore, you are already a master." He stood on the front hill of the tomb sect, watched the wind blow through the broken monument, and whispered to Yang Guo, who was no longer there. "The sword, sure enough, is not for killing, but for protection." Then he turned around and left, and the next stop was to check in. Mountains and Seas Meridian, the source of the beast god. The system prompt sounds. Ding, the world is about to start, host, please prepare to explore the unknown beast civilization. He raised the corners of his mouth, and his eyes were like stars. Let's go.